The police cruiser idled at the curb like a predator pretending to sleep. Blue light pulsed across a wet pavement, over the graffiti-scarred bus stop, over the slim black teenager sitting on the bench with a laptop balanced on his knees. Malik Johnson barely noticed it at first. His headphones were on. His fingers moved fast. Lines of code scrolled. Somewhere in the background, sirens wailed and died. "Hey!" The word snapped like a finger in his face. Malik looked up. The officer stood too close, hand resting casually on his belt, eyes already bored, already judging. The smell of rain and exhaust hung between them. "What's in the bag?" the officer asked. "My computer," Malik said. His voice stayed even. He had learned that early. The officer glanced at the screen, scoffed. "Figures. Just a game of killing time instead of going home." A couple waiting for the bus looked away. A car slowed, then moved on. Malik closed the laptop slowly, heart thudding. He felt that familiar heat, shame mixed with anger, crawl up his neck. He thought of the servers running back home, the players logging in across 3 continents, the contract he hadn't signed yet. "I'm not doing anything wrong," Malik said. The officer smiled, thin and cold. "We'll see about that." His hand lifted. 2 fingers tapped the laptop lid like punctuation. "You kids always think screens make you important." The cuffs came out with a soft metallic click. As Malik stood, rain soaking through his hoodie, his phone buzzed in his pocket. Once, twice, an urgent vibration he couldn't answer. Across the ocean, a launch countdown hit 0, and the officer tightened his grip. Malik Johnson liked the bus stop because it was loud enough to disappear inside. Engines hissed. Tires whispered through puddles. Somewhere nearby, a radio rattled with bass. The noise gave him cover, let him think without being watched, or so he believed. He sat hunched forward on the metal bench, hoodie pulled up against the drizzle, laptop warm against his thighs. Lines of code scrolled past as his fingers moved in practiced bursts. He paused, frowned, fixed a bracket, ran the build again. "Come on," he muttered. The game loaded. No crash. He exhaled slowly. A shadow cut across the screen. "Hey!" Malik looked up. The police cruiser was parked half on the curb, lights off but engine running. The officer stood in front of him, white, mid-40s maybe, uniform immaculate, eyes already narrowed like Malik had interrupted something important just by existing. "Evening," Malik said. "What are you doing out here?" the officer asked. "Waiting for the bus." The officer glanced at the laptop. "With that?" Malik closed it partway, careful. "I was working." "Working," the officer repeated, flat. He shifted closer, boots planted wide. "You live around here?" "Yes, sir." "Where?" Malik hesitated, then gave the block number. The officer nodded like that confirmed something. "Open it," he said. "Open what?" "The computer." Malik felt his shoulders tense. People always asked him to explain himself twice. He lifted the screen again. Code filled the display, dense, unreadable to anyone who didn't know what to look for. The officer squinted, snorted. "Figures." Malik's jaw tightened. "What's that supposed to mean?" The officer smiled, thin and knowing. "Just a gamer, out here wasting time." A couple stood a few feet away, pretending not to listen. Malik saw the woman glance over, then quickly away. "I'm not doing anything illegal," Malik said. "Didn't say you why." The officer's hand rested on his belt. "But kids like you get into trouble when nobody's watching." "I'm 17. "Exactly." Rain tapped harder against the bus shelter roof. Malik felt heat bloom behind his eyes. He swallowed it down. He had practiced this. Calm, polite, invisible. "My boss will be here soon," he said. The officer didn't move. "Bag." Malik slowly slid his backpack off his shoulder, unzipped it. "Charger, notebook, hoodie, nothing dangerous." The officer poked through anyway, fingers rough. "You got ID?" Malik handed over his school card. The officer studied it longer than necessary. "Malik Johnson," he read aloud. "Hi." "What?" "Nothing." He handed it back. "Stand up." "For what?" "Just do it." Metal clicked. Not cuffs. Not yet, but the sound was close enough to make Malik's stomach drop. He stood, rain soaked into his shoes. You think screens make you special, the officer said quietly. They don't. Malik's phone vibrated in his pocket. Once. Again. He ignored it. I'm calling my mom, he said. The officer's eyes hardened. You do that after. He guided Malik toward the cruiser. Grip firm, unnecessary. A car passed. No one stopped. Behind Malik's ribs, his heart hammered as the rain fell harder. And somewhere far away, servers went live without him. Malik slept like someone had turned the lights off inside him. Not the kind of sleep that rested you, just a heavy shutdown, his body forcing itself into silence after holding too much tension for too long. His hoodie lay crumpled on the floor. His laptop sat closed on the desk, a thin strip of charging light glowing in the dark. His phone vibrated. Once. Twice. Again. Malik rolled onto his side, groaning. His head throbbed. His wrists still remembered the pressure of the officer's grip, even though there had been no cuffs in the end. Just a warning. Just a lecture. Just a look that said I could have done more. The phone buzzed again, longer this time. Stop, Malik muttered, fumbling for it. The screen lit his face blue. Missed calls, 14. Messages, 62. Emails, 118. He blinked, heart skipping. What? He sat up too fast, dizziness washing over him. The room felt small, airless. He opened the first message. Jay, lead dev, where are you? Servers are spiking. The next. Lena, Malik, this isn't funny. Please answer. Another. Unknown number. Is this Malik Johnson? This is Global Arc Media. We need comment ASAP. His pulse roared in his ears. He opened Twitter without thinking. His name, his handle, was trending. Holy. The app lagged, then loaded. Clip after clip autoplayed. A streamer with neon light behind him, shouting into a MIC, this game is insane. Who even built this? A montage of players screaming, laughing, crying. Subtitle flashing. No way this was made by one guy. A headline slid into view. Indie game shatters records hours after launch. Malik's breath came short. No, 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 no. He scrambled to his laptop, fingers shaking as he flipped it open. The dashboard loaded slowly, painfully. Active users, 3,214,889 concurrent servers. Max revenue counter, numbers climbing so fast they blurred. Oh my God, Malik whispered. His phone rang. This time he answered. Where the hell have you been? Jay's voice cracked through the speaker, equal parts panic and awe. We thought something happened to you. It did, Malik said automatically. His throat tightened. There was a cop? I got stopped. Silence. Jay exhaled. Malik, the launch. I know, Malik said. I see it. You were supposed to be on the call. Lena cut in, breathless. The investors were asking for you. The press. Everyone. I couldn't. Malik stopped. He pressed his fingers to his eyes. I couldn't answer my phone. Another pause. He imagined them exchanging looks across screens, thousands of miles away. Are you okay? Lena asked, quieter now. Malik looked at his hands, still trembling. Yeah, he lied. I'm fine. Jay cleared his throat. Listen, this thing? It's bigger than we projected. Way bigger. Platforms want exclusives. Studios want meetings. There's serious money moving already. Malik laughed once, sharp and disbelieving. I missed it. You didn't miss it, Jay said. You made it. Malik didn't respond. He thought of the bus stop, the rain, the officer's voice. Just a gamer. Malik. Lena said, You still there? Yeah, he said softly. I'm here. Another call came through. Then another. Malik declined them all. Give me 10 minutes, he said. I need just 10. After he hung up, the room went quiet except for the hum of the laptop fan. Malik leaned back against the wall and slid down until he was sitting on the floor. His phone buzzed again. This time, it was a news alert. Local teen creates game valued in the billions. His stomach dropped. They had his age, his name, his city. They found me, he whispered. His phone rang immediately after. Mom, he answered. Malik, she said, voice tight with worry. Where were you last night? I'm home, he said. I'm okay. You didn't answer. I saw police lights on the street. I'm okay, he repeated, louder now, like if he said it enough times it would be true. I got stopped. That's all. A breath on the other end. Did they hurt you? No. Another lie. Different shape. I saw the news, she said. Is it true? Malik closed his eyes. Yeah. She laughed, a sound halfway between joy and disbelief. Baby, do you know what you did? I missed it, Malik said. What? The launch, he said. I missed my own launch. She didn't answer right away. Come home, she said finally. We'll figure everything else out later. Malik looked at the screen again, at the numbers, at the headlines, at the comments already arguing about him. He thought of the officer's face if he saw this, thought of how easily last night could have gone worse. Okay, Malik said. He ended the call and stared at the screen as the revenue counter kept climbing. The world had changed while he was being held still, and it wasn't done with him yet. By Monday morning, Malik's name had turned into a headline people argued over instead of a person they listened to. At school, the hallways felt different. Whispers followed him like static. Phones lifted and dipped when he passed. A teacher smiled too wide and said, "We're all very proud of you," without meeting his eyes. "You good, bro?" his friend Andre asked at Malik's locker. Malik shrugged. "I guess." Andre leaned closer. "You see Twitter?" "I'm trying not to." Andre huffed a laugh. "They're acting like you came out of nowhere." Malik closed his locker slowly. "I didn't." In first period, the vice principal asked him to step into the office. She congratulated him, asked about scholarships, mentioned opportunities. Then, casually, like it was an afterthought, she added, "I heard there was an incident with law enforcement." Malik felt his spine stiffen. "I was stopped." She nodded, pen already moving. "But nothing serious, right?" The word landed wrong. Serious. Malik thought of the officer's hand, the way the cruiser door had opened just enough to make a point. "No," Malik said, "nothing serious." That afternoon, a local reporter waited outside the school gates. "Malik Johnson," the woman called out. "Can we talk about the arrest?" "It wasn't an arrest," Malik said automatically. She blinked. "That's not what the report says." "What report?" She hesitated. Police statement. Routine stop. Individual detained briefly for suspicious behavior. Release without charge. Malik stared at her. "Suspicious how?" She glanced down at her phone. "It doesn't say." That night, Malik sat at his desk while his mother cooked, the smell of onions and oil grounding him. His laptop was open, but not to code. He had pulled up the police department's public incident logs. He searched the block, the time, the officer's badge number. He'd memorized it without realizing. Results populated the screen. Not just his name. Other names. Other dates. Similar phrasing. Suspicious loitering. Failure to comply. No charges filed. Malik scrolled slowly. "This can't be," he whispered. "Malik," his mom called. "You want rice or potatoes?" "Rice," he said, barely audible. He clicked into a forum someone had linked under a news article about him. A thread titled, "This Isn't New." Posts stacked on top of each other. "Same cop stopped my cousin. Happened to my brother last year. They always say nothing serious." Malik felt something shift inside him. Not anger yet. Something colder. Sharper. They had language for this. Templates. Boxes to tick. He wasn't an exception. He was a pattern. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. "Hello." "Malik Johnson," a man asked. Calm. Professional. "This is Officer Daniels from the department. Just following up on your encounter Friday night." Malik's chest tightened. "Why?" "Standard procedure. Daniel said, just making sure there are no hard feelings. Malik almost laughed. I was detained for no reason, Malik said. That feels like something. A pause. Our officer reported that you were uncooperative. I wasn't. Perception can differ, Daniel said smoothly. You understand. Malik looked at the screen full of names, full of dates. I understand more than you think, Malik said. Daniels cleared his throat. Given your recent publicity, it's important you don't mischaracterize routine policing. So you're calling to warn me? Malik asked. Another pause. Longer. I'm calling to advise you, Daniels said. Careers can be sensitive things. Malik's hand curled into a fist. You call me just a gamer, Malik said. That was in the body cam, right? Silence. Was that routine too? Daniels exhaled. I think we're done, hey. The line went dead. Malik sat there for a long moment, phone still pressed to his ear. Then he lowered it slowly. His mother set a plate in front of him. Eat, she said gently. He nodded, though his appetite was gone. Later that night, Malik opened a document and started writing. Not code, not a statement. Dates, names, language. He didn't know what he would do with it yet. But he knew one thing. They weren't done with him because he was famous. They were watching him because he wasn't supposed to be. The first interview aired at 7:12 a.m. Malik didn't watch it live. He was still sitting at the kitchen table, cereal gone soggy in the bowl, scrolling through emails when his phone exploded with notifications. You're on the news. Turn it on. Now. They said your name. He clicked the link Andre sent. The anchor's voice was polished, neutral. A looping image played beside her, Malik's school photo, cropped from a Yibik, then a screen capture from his game. Two versions of him placed side by side like a before and after. 17-year-old Malik Johnson, the creator of the fastest-growing indie game in history, is now speaking out about a recent encounter with police. The clip cut to Malik's face from the night before. His hoodie was gone, replaced by a plain black shirt. The lighting was harsh. He looked younger than he felt. I wasn't arrested, Paz Malik said on screen, but I was treated like I didn't belong there. The anchor nodded solemnly. The department says the stop was routine. Malik closed the video. His stomach churned, not from nerves this time, but from something heavier. Exposure. Being seen without control. You okay? His mom asked, standing in the doorway. They're doing that thing, Malik said. What thing? Flattening it, he said, sanding it down so it fits. She crossed the room and squeezed his shoulder. You don't have to do all of them. I know, Malik said, but if I don't. He didn't finish. He didn't have to. By noon, his face was everywhere. Tech blogs, morning shows, late-night monologues framed as jokes that made his jaw tighten. Comment section split clean down the middle. Inspiring. Overblown. Why bring race into it? A notification popped up from an unknown contact. PR firm. Verified. We represent several partners interested in working with you. Suggest keeping messaging focused on innovation, not controversy. Malik stared at it. So that's how it works, he murmured. He didn't reply. Across town, Officer Reynolds stared at the television mounted above the bar. There he was. The kid, cleaned up, calm, talking about dignity like he hadn't been shaking in the rain 2 nights ago. Reynolds clenched his jaw. That him? Another officer asked, nodding at the screen. Yeah, Reynolds said. Damn, the man whistled. Didn't know he was somebody. Reynolds drained his drink. He's still a kid. The phone in his pocket buzzed. A text from his sergeant. See me. Now. Back in Malik's world, the requests kept coming. Podcasts, panels, conferences. One email subject line made his hand still. Request, body cam footage comment. Malik forwarded it to the lawyer Lena had connected him with. Her reply came fast. They haven't released anything yet. That's intentional. Malik leaned back in his chair. They are hiding it, he said aloud. His mom looked up from folding laundry. Who? The department, Malik said. If the footage backed them up, it'd already be public. That evening, Malik agreed to one live interview. Just one. The studio lights were hot. The host smiled too easily. So Malik, she said, leaning forward. Some people are saying this was just a misunderstanding. Why do you think it's become such a big story? Malik folded his hands together. He felt his pulse in his fingertips. Because misunderstandings don't follow patterns, he said. The host blinked. What do you mean? I looked, Malik said. Same officer, same language, same neighborhoods, over and over. A murmur rippled through the crew. So you're accusing the department of... I'm saying what happened to me didn't start with me, Malik said. His voice didn't shake. And it won't end with me unless someone stops pretending it's nothing. Silence hung for half a beat too long. The host smiled again, thinner now. We've reached out to the department for comment. Malik nodded. I'm sure you have. That night, Malik scrolled through social media until his eyes burned. Support poured in, but so did threats. Messages telling him to shut up, to be grateful, to remember his place. One comment stopped him cold. If you hadn't been famous, no one would care. Malik set the phone down. That's the point, he said softly. On another channel, a press conference played. A familiar uniform stood at the podium. The officer involved acted within protocol, the chief said. We caution against rushing to judgment based on incomplete information. Behind him, Officer Reynolds stood stiff, eyes forward. Malik watched, heart steady, incomplete. He knew what was coming next. Visibility had a cost, and the system was already bracing to protect itself. The request for the body cam footage went in on a Tuesday morning. Malik watched the email send like it was something fragile, like it might break if he looked away too fast. His lawyer, Denise Carter, sat across from him at the dining table, her laptop open, her posture calm in a way Malik was learning to envy. They have 30 days, she said, legally and realistically. Malik asked. Denise gave a small smile. They'll take 29. Malik nodded. He had expected that answer. In the meantime, the department released a report. It dropped quietly. No press conference, no announcement. Just a PDF uploaded to the city website at 6:03 a.m. Someone on Twitter found it before breakfast. By 9, Malik's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. He opened the document with Denise sitting beside him. The words felt wrong, familiar, but distorted, like hearing your own voice played back through a bad connection. Subject appeared evasive. Subject refused to comply verbally. Officer perceived potential threat. Malik let out a sharp breath. That's not what happened. I know, Denise said. They said I was evasive because I asked why I was being stopped, Malik said. His voice rose despite himself. They said I refused to comply because I didn't stand fast enough. Denise scrolled, and they omitted the comment about you being just a gamer. Malik's hands clenched. Of course they did. The report painted a picture of control and professionalism. No raised voice. No unnecessary proximity. No intimidation. Just a concerned officer managing a situation. It reads clean, Malik said bitterly. Too clean. That's intentional, Denise replied. Reports are written to survive scrutiny, not tell truth. By afternoon, commentators had already picked sides. According to the police report, if the report is accurate, there's no evidence of wrongdoing. Malik watched the panel debate his own behavior like he wasn't in the room. He should have just complied, one man said on screen. Malik muted the TV. They are setting the narrative, he said. Yes, Denise agreed, before the footage complicates it. That night, Malik couldn't sleep. He lay staring at the ceiling, replaying the stop in his head. Every word, every movement. He wondered how many versions of it now existed. His memory, the report, the officer's memory, the public's imagination. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He didn't answer. A voicemail appeared seconds later. Malik Johnson, a man's voice said, Calm, polite. This is Deputy Chief Alvarez. I'd like to speak with you directly. Off the record. Malik stayed at the screen. Off the record. He deleted the voicemail. The next morning, Denise forwarded him an internal email someone had leaked. Media strategy. Johnson incident emphasized routine nature of stop. Avoid character judgments. Delay release of footage pending review. They are buying time, Malik said. They are hoping attention moves on, Denise replied. It didn't. A civil rights organization requested the footage too. So did a national outlet. So did 3 lawmakers. The department responded with the same line every time. Under review. At school, a kid Malik barely knew cornered him near the vending machines. My cousin got stopped by that same cop, the kid said quietly. Last year. Malik's chest tightened. Did you report it? The kid shook his head. What's the point? That question followed Malik home. What's the point? He repeated to his mom later that night. She stirred the pot on the stove slowly. The point is that you can, she said, and most of them couldn't. Another article dropped that evening. Police union defense officer warns against rush to judgment. Malik scrolled through it, jaw set. A quote stood out. The officer involved has an exemplary record. Malik laughed once, humorless. So did everyone else, he said, until they didn't. Denise called an hour later. They are offering mediation, she said. Mediation for what? Malik asked. To resolve things quietly, Denise said. No admission of fault. No footage release. Possibly a statement expressing regret. Malik closed his eyes. So they get silence, he said. And I get what? Money, Denise said honestly. And peace, maybe. Malik pictured the bus stop again. The rain, the click of metal. No, he said. Denise didn't argue. Then be ready. For what? For them to push back, she said. Harder. Malik hung up and opened the document he'd been building for weeks. Names, dates, language, patterns. He added one more entry. Official report contradicts lived event. Outside, a siren wailed, then faded. Malik kept typing. The truth was coming, and they knew it. The pressure didn't arrive all at once. It crept in through reasonable voices and polite emails, through concern dressed up as advice. The first call came from a venture partner Malik had never met in person. Malik, the man said warmly, you're handling a lot for someone your age. We just want to make sure the situation doesn't overshadow your work. My work exists because of my life, Malik replied. A pause. Of course, but narratives matter. After that, it was nonstop, a brand manager suggesting he pivot the conversation. A PR consultant offering a free strategy session, no controversy management included. A studio executive praising his courage, then adding, timing is everything. Malik started letting the calls go to voicemail. At night, the messages turned darker. Ungrateful. You got lucky and now you're playing victim. Careful. People fall fast. One email included his home address. His mom read it over his shoulder and went very still. Maybe we should get security, she said quietly. Malik hated that thought more than the threats themselves. At the department, Officer Reynolds sat stiff-backed in a conference room, hands folded, listening as his union representative spoke for him. This is a political storm, the rep said. You did your job. Reynolds nodded. He kept nodding, even as the room closed in. You're on paid administrative leave, the sergeant added. Standard procedure. Paid. Reynolds swallowed. So I just wait. You wait, the sergeant confirmed. And you don't talk. Reynolds clenched his jaw. He pictured Malik's calm face on television. The way people looked at him now, with suspicion. Just a gamer, he thought bitterly. Now look at him. Malik felt the strain most online. Every sentence he posted was dissected, every silence interpreted. He typed a response to a comment accusing him of exaggerating, then deleted it. Don't, Denise said when he told her. They want you emotional. I am emotional, Malik snapped. Denise didn't flinch. Then use it carefully. One afternoon, Malik agreed to meet with a sponsor representative at a downtown cafe. The woman was kind, well-dressed, efficient. We believe in you, she said, but we need stability. Define stability, Malik said. She smiled apologetically. Less activism, more product. Malik leaned back. So if I was quiet, you'd feel better. She didn't deny it. That night, Malik sat alone in his room, laptop open, game paused mid-frame. The world he'd built felt distant. Hello. His phone buzzed. Andre, you coming out? Andre asked, just to clear your head. Malik hesitated, then said yes. They walked under streetlights, the air cool and sharp. For a while, they didn't talk. You ever wish you didn't blow up? Andre asked finally. Malik considered it. No, he said. I just wish I'd been invisible on my own terms. Andre nodded. They are scared of you. Of what? Malik asked. That you didn't need permission, Andre said. The next morning, Denise called early. They are preparing a counteroffensive, she said. Union statements, character witnesses, leaks questioning your credibility. Malik closed his eyes. So this gets ugly. Yes, Denise said. And you should know, someone offered to settle again. More money. And silence. Yes. Malik stayed at the ceiling. For a moment, just a moment, he imagined saying yes. Letting it all stop. Coding in peace. No interviews. No threats. Then he remembered the kid at school. The question, what's the point? I'm not doing it, Malik said. Denise exhaled. Then I need you ready. Ready for what? For the footage to change things, she said, and for them to hit back when it does. That evening, Malik received a message from an account with no profile picture. If you keep pushing, they'll come for you harder. Malik stared at it. Then he replied, just once. They already did. He put the phone down and opened his laptop, not to code, but to watch the timestamp Denise had sent him. Footage status, pending release. Malik leaned back, heart steady despite everything. The pressure was meant to break him. Instead, it had clarified something simple. He wasn't fighting because he was powerful. He was powerful because he kept fighting. The footage dropped at 8:41 a.m. No announcement, no warning. Just a link posted by a civil rights attorney with 3 words above it. Watch it yourself. Malik saw it while brushing his teeth. His phone buzzed against the sink, vibrating like something alive. He wiped his mouth, stared at the screen, and felt the room tilt slightly as a notification loaded. Body cam footage, full, unedited. He sat on the edge of the tub and pressed play. The video opened with motion, rain streaking across the lens, the hollow thump of boots on pavement. The officer's voice came first, casual, almost bored. Hey! Malik watched himself look up from the bench. Younger, smaller, hood up, laptop glowing. What are you doing out here? The words were exactly as he remembered them. That, more than anything, made his chest tighten. The camera angle shifted as the officer stepped closer. Too close. Malik noticed it immediately now, the way the lens dipped when the officer leaned in, the way his own shoulders subtly drew inward. What's in the bag? Just a gamer, the officer muttered later, half to himself, half to the camera. Malik froze. There it was. Clear. Undeniable. The comment the report had erased. The footage kept rolling. The pause before Malik answered questions. The repeated demand to open the laptop. The hand on the belt. The tap on the computer lid. You kids always think screens make you important. Malik exhaled slowly through his nose. His hands were shaking, but his mind felt sharp, almost distant. Across the city, Officer Reynolds sat in his living room, the same footage playing on his television. He watched his own reflection flicker faintly in the screen. That's not how it sounds, he muttered. But the room didn't answer back. Online, the reaction was instant and volcanic. Clips looped on every platform. Freeze frames circled the officer's proximity. Audio analysts slowed the comments down, isolated the tone. That's not routine. That's contempt. That's bias. A side-by-side comparison spread within minutes. Police report, subject evasive. Body cam, calm, composed, questioning. Malik's phone rang. Denise, it's everywhere, she said. Her voice was steady, but Malik heard the edge beneath it. This changes the landscape. It doesn't feel changed, Malik said. It will, Denise replied, but not cleanly. The department released a statement an hour later. The footage does not reflect departmental values. No apology, no admission, just distance. By noon, sponsors who had gone quiet were calling again, this time with concern. "We stand with you," one email read. "Pending review," another added. Malik watched the news from the couch, his mom beside him, her hand gripping his knee. A former prosecutor pointed at the screen. "This is a textbook example of discretionary bias." A union spokesperson shook his head. The officer was reacting to perceived risk. Malik laughed under his breath. Perceived by who? At a press briefing, the chief looked strained. "We are opening an internal investigation," he said. "Effective immediately, Officer Reynolds is suspended without pay." Without pay. The words landed heavier than Malik expected. Not because they felt like victory, but because they felt final. Reynolds heard the announcement from his phone, sitting alone in his truck. His hands tightened on the steering wheel. "They hung me," he whispered. Across the country, people argued about him like he was an idea, not a person. Malik avoided the comment sections. He focused on what he could control. He agreed to one more interview. This time, he chose the outlet. The journalist didn't interrupt him. "When you hear people say this was about fame," she said gently, "what do you want them to understand?" Malik took a breath. "Fame didn't protect me," he said. "It exposed what would have been buried." "And what do you want now?" she asked. Malik thought of the bus stop, the rain, the countless names in his document. "I want accuracy," he said, "and accountability, not just for me." That night, Malik couldn't sleep. He sat at his desk, the footage paused on a frame where the officer loomed, shadows stretching across the concrete. He didn't feel triumphant. He felt seen, and that came with weight. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. This time, he answered. "You got what you wanted," a voice said. "Tired. Bitter. I got the truth out," Malik replied. A long pause. "You don't know what this costs." Malik's voice stayed calm. "I know exactly what it costs." The line went dead. Malik stared at the screen for a long moment, then closed the laptop. Exposure wasn't the end. It was the moment after the curtain fell, when everyone had to decide what they would do with what they'd seen. The word consequences sounded clean when people said it on television. Measured, orderly, like something that followed rules. In reality, it arrived in fragments. A formal letter from the department first, thick paper, careful language. Malik opened it at the dining table while his mom watched silently from the counter. Notice of internal findings, preliminary. Denise read over his shoulder. "They're substantiating 2 violations," she said. "Unprofessional conduct, failure to de-escalate." "And the rest?" Malik asked. "Deferred," Denise replied. "Pending further review." Malik nodded slowly. He had expected that too. The hearing was scheduled 3 weeks later. Malik didn't want to go. "You don't have to testify," Denise said. "Your statement is already on record." "I know," Malik said, "but I want to look at them when they talk about me." The room where it happened wasn't a courtroom. No judge, no jury, just a long table, city seal on the wall, flags standing stiff in corners. Officer Reynolds sat on one side with his union lawyer. He didn't look at Malik when he entered. Malik sat across from him, hands folded, spine straight. He felt calm in a way that surprised him. The chairperson cleared her throat. "We're here to review conduct during the stop of Malik Johnson." Reynolds finally glanced up. For a brief second, their eyes met. Reynolds looked smaller than Malik remembered. Tired, defensive. This was never personal. Reynolds said when it was his turn to speak. "I perceived risk. I followed my training." Malik leaned forward slightly. "Can I respond?" he asked. The chair nodded. "You perceived risk because I was there," Malik said. His voice was steady. "Because I didn't fit what you expected to see doing what I was doing." Reynolds opened his mouth, then closed it. Malik continued. "You didn't ask what I was building. You told me what I was." The room was quiet. Afterward, the decision came fast. Suspension upheld. Mandatory retraining. File forwarded to the city attorney for review. Not the ending people online wanted. Not a dramatic firing. Not a headline-perfect fall. It's partial accountability, Denise said later, which is how institutions survive. The civil case moved forward anyway. Depositions, documents, emails dragged into the light. Malik learned more about the department than he ever wanted to know, how complaints were categorized, how language softened, how patterns dissolve into statistics. One afternoon, a junior officer testified. We were told to be proactive in certain areas, he said carefully. And what did that mean? Denise asked. The officer hesitated. More stops. Based on what criteria? Another pause. Experience. Malik wrote the word down in his notebook and underlined it. Experience had always been their shield. The city offered a settlement after the deposition transcripts leaked. More money than Malik had ever seen. A statement acknowledging harm. No admission of systemic fault. Denise laid it out plainly. If you accept, the case ends. Malik stayed at the paper. He thought of the kid at school, of the forum posts, of the way the officer's voice sounded on the footage. Casual, confident. What happens if I don't? Malik asked. Denise met his eyes. It gets longer, harder, and nothing is guaranteed. Malik exhaled slowly. I'll accept, he said. Denise blinked. You will. Yes, Malik said, but I want the statement changed. To what? To name what happened, Malik said. Bias, not misunderstanding. Denise smiled faintly. I'll try. The final statement wasn't perfect, but it was better. The city acknowledges that racial bias influenced the encounter and commits a policy review. Malik read it twice before signing. When the news broke, reactions were mixed. He sold out. He forced change. It's not enough. Malik didn't respond to any of it. Instead, he went back to his desk. He opened his game's codebase and scrolled past worlds and characters and systems he'd built to feel fair, rules applied evenly, outcomes earned. He added a small update, a line most players would never notice, a dedication hidden in the credits, for those stopped and never heard. Later that night, Malik sat on the bus stop bench again, not the same one, but close enough. No laptop this time, just his phone in the quiet. A cruiser passed, slowed, then kept going. Malik watched it disappear. Consequences weren't dramatic. They were incremental, and sometimes that was the most honest kind of justice there was. The update went live at 2:17 a.m. No announcement, no trailer, just a quiet patch pushed to millions of devices while most of the world slept. Malik watched the progress bar inch forward from his desk, the glow of the monitor reflecting in the dark window. His room looked the same as it always had. Unmade bed, stacked notebooks, cables coiled like habits, but he didn't feel like the same person sitting in it. Done, he whispered when the upload completed. He leaned back and closed his eyes. For weeks, people had asked him what came next. Bigger studios, new projects, expansion packs. They spoke in futures that assumed his past had resolved cleanly. It hadn't. The hearing was over. The settlement signed. The officer transferred quietly to desk duty in another district. Training modules updated. Press cycles moved on. But some nights, Malik still heard the click of metal in his head. At school, things slowly returned to normal, which meant they never fully did. Teachers were careful now. Administrators smiled with distance. Some students treated him like a legend, others like a problem that had been solved and shouldn't be reopened. Andre caught up with him after class one afternoon. You still famous? Andre asked. Malik snorted. Depends who you ask. Andre nudged him. You good? Malik thought about it. About the panic that sometimes crept in when a siren passed too close. About the confidence he felt when he spoke now, steadier than before. I'm getting there, he said. Online, players discovered the dedication within hours. Screenshots spread slowly at first. Zoomed-in credit rolls. Forum posts asking questions. Did you see this? Is this about him? That line hit hard. Malik didn't respond. He didn't need to. The meaning belonged to whoever found it. One evening, Malik sat on the front steps with his mom, the summer air warm and thick. Neighbors walked past, some waving, some staring, most just living their lives. You know, She said, "When you were little, you used to hate being seen." Malik smiled faintly. "I still do." She laughed softly. "Not like before." He leaned his head back against the railing. "I didn't want to be a symbol." "I know," she said, "but you were already one. You just didn't get to choose it." A car drove by slowly. Music pulsed from inside, bass vibrating through the pavement. Malik felt his shoulders tense automatically, then relax when the car passed without incident. Small things. Incremental. A month later, Malik stood in a community center gymnasium, microphone clipped to his shirt. Folding chairs filled the floor. Kids sat cross-legged near the stage, laptops open, eyes bright. He hadn't planned on speaking. The organizer had asked last minute. "Just tell them what you wish someone told you," she said. Malik looked out at the crowd. "I used to think if I stayed quiet, I'd be safe," he began. "And if I worked hard enough, I'd be invisible." A few kids nodded. "But I learned something," Malik continued. "Systems don't notice silence. They depend on it." He paused, choosing his words. "You don't owe anyone comfort when they're the ones making you small," he said. "And you don't have to be perfect to deserve dignity." Afterward, a boy no older than 14 approached him. "They stopped me last year," the boy said quietly. "I didn't think it mattered." Malik swallowed. "It mattered." The boy nodded, holding that like something solid. Later that night, Malik walked home alone. Streetlights flickered on one by one. The city hummed, indifferent and alive. He passed a bus stop. Not the same one, but close enough to make his chest tighten. He stopped. Saturday. Listened. No cruiser idled nearby. No voice broke the quiet. Malik pulled out his phone and opened his game's dashboard. New players logged in from places he'd never been. People building worlds inside something he'd made. He thought about the word billionaire, how people said it like it was armor, like it rewrote the past. It didn't. What changed wasn't the number. It was a record. The footage existed. The language was named. The pattern was visible. Someone else would search one day and find it. Malik stood and slung his backpack over his shoulder. As he walked away, a notification buzzed softly in his pocket. Another player discovering the dedication. Another message of thanks. Malik didn't stop. He kept moving forward, not because the system had fixed itself, but because he had learned how to stand inside it without shrinking. And that, he knew now, was its own kind of victory.